Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This is Dark Times Gamer, and in today's video, we're going to be playing some more Minecraft, and today we're going to be building the high bay, more specifically. So you can see below us, we have, a giant empty building. So, as you can see, there's nothing in here, just bats, and I guess lights, and then the empty, abandoned looking high bay bar up here. So today, the main things we're going to do is decorate this area a little bit. Tables and chairs. We're going to put the bridge crane in. We're going to put all of the stands. And I'll even put some ships in next video. In my updated 2025 tutorial for creating Block 1 starships. So without further ado, let's get started. So first off, just a minor adjustment to the block palette. It's the exact same from the last couple videos, except one thing. We're just going to replace this second to last block. If you're looking at your hotbar from left to right, is the pearlescent frog light. This is just the light we use in here in case you have to replace any for any reason. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Alright, so I'm looking at my notes here, so bear with me here for a second. I made these notes 2 days ago, so might be a little rough. Alright, so first off, each of these ship stands will be 7 blocks tall, whilst welding turntables will be 4 blocks tall. So, yeah, just a little bit of that there. So, yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Alright, so we're going to start with the side 7 block tall ship stand over here, which is going to be, and I'm using my notes here, so bear with me, 3rd wall block in, so right here, and then 3 blocks back, so that'd be here, and then place. So we're going out from this. Now go 1 more up, pearlescent frog light, and then go out like so. 2, then out 1 more, and then 2 more from that, then another 2 diagonal, then 3 straight this way, 2 diagonal, 3 straight this way. I'm going to do that. Alright, so it should look something like this, and then you're going to replace each of these middle blocks of these 3 block sections real quick. I know, gotta turn down my headset a little loud. Yep, that's that. So we have our first ship stand nearly complete. Just don't forget, underneath each of these lights, there's a leg. So like that, we're done. So that's the first ship stand. We're gonna put a ship there next episode. But next up is this, which is going to be the center ship stand, which is 7 blocks tall. And just get rid of this light here. You know what? Actually, no. Yeah, keep it. Never mind. And just simply place it. It's right here. I know it's going to be off-centered, but doesn't really matter much. Alright, so now you're going to want to go 2 out each way. So thinking it's 7 blocks tall in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to go 2 out like that in each direction. And then we're going to go 2. And it's the same thing as we were doing before. Just build one of these circles, but it's 7 blocks up this time. And I'll show you why here in a second. And we are going to introduce a new block here in a second. Alright, once you're done with that circle, just go ahead and make sure that all of these legs, once again, are there. Except for the one that faces the door right there. So don't do that one. I'll show you why in a second. But this is what we want to do. So we want to have this go down all the way like that. And then put your lights in. And from out here, it's, yeah, you can't really tell that it's off center. Can't really. So it's all fine. So the next thing you want to do is go ahead and grab, and this is instead of pearlescent frog lights, grab up just normal glass. So my glass is going to look a little different than yours, but that's just because I have some visual stuff on that makes them kind of smooth like that, without the more paneled looking design for them. So it looks like that. So for these first two corners, that's what you're going to do. You're just going to fill them as if there's just a wall there of glass. And that will just fit in to there, like so. So now we're, by the looks of things, halfway done here. But then you might ask, is this just going to be a 180? No, it's not. So you're going to want to grab your gray concrete, go to this corner block here, or diagonal block, you know. And that should leave a 3-block space right there. So this is the doorway where raptors can come in. And then just make sure that this small gap is closed. And make sure that the doorway is, let's see, how tall is it? 5 blocks, okay. Yep, we're good. So make sure the doorway is 5 blocks tall. I should leave these 2 up on the top. And then that makes it so that there is a little door in there. And now I'm going to remove the flooring in here. Should show dirt or whatever your second layer is in your world. And then we're going to replace it because there's this little elevator sort of thing inside so that you can take the raptors up into the ship. And that will be made out of gray concrete. Sorry, I just had to remember there. So we've gotten our gray concrete. Nice right there. And then we're just going to make sure, yep, all filled. So basically what happens is this just lifts up to, I think about here, yeah. And then you can put the engines onto a ship. So that is that one complete. And then go ahead and copy paste this exact same design, like this. And then just, like I said, copy. I'm going to copy from the side, or, yeah, I'm going to copy from this side here. Alright, and, we are nearly there. So now you're going to want / rotate 90, and, well, actually, let me check real quick. I'm going to paste it, make sure it's done correctly. Nope. Oops. I'll just do it. So 90 and then 180. Or 180 then 90. So, 270 maybe, is it? I don't know. I think so. 270, 280, something like that. But then, wait, what did I, just rotated. Okay. And then we're going to want to go, same deal as the last one. Go to the 3rd block in from the wall, 3 blocks out, so that'd be right here. Then / paste. And then it should paste it in right there. And it's all fine and dandy. And then you just want to put in the door right there. And then put in the little elevator inside. And then we're done with this, all the ship stands. And then we got that complete. So we've got that complete now. So now we're done with these little guys. One more thing is go over here on this, and then every other block on this, just place an andesite wall. This is what brings it up to 4 blocks tall. And that is what attaches to the ship when you put it on there. So, in case you're wondering how it attaches, that's how. So now we have all the ship stands complete. So now we're going to put in the staircase, which is right in this corner here. So you're going to want to go in this far corner right here, and then go and break out three by three space right there, and then go ahead and grab up some andesite stairs. You just replace your andesite block with that, and then go andesite stairs, and then upside down behind it, andesite stair, upside down behind it, and then do stone, then another andesite stair, then upside down, then stone, then andesite stair, then upside down andesite stair, then stone, then andesite stair, upside down andesite stair, and then you're done with your sort of pattern, I guess. And actually move that one up. Sorry, I forgot to put that. Move that one up because I accidentally did something wrong. Oops. Yep. So actually, it's not stair first; it's a block first, like so, and then you go. Boom. So that's how you make the spiral staircase. And then don't forget to put in andesite wall that goes all the way up to the roof, and then also goes down until the lowest block of the staircase so far. So it should look something like this. I got that. All right. Don't forget to put your final block, which is just the andesite stair right there. All right. So now we're ready to continue this going down further. So now take your first block down below here, and then go down to, right, I think it's here. Yeah, I think it's here. Let's see. And then slash that stack however many times down. 70. That would bring us down to here. I'm going to go down a little further. 10. Oop. Don't forget that D. And then you have, yep, just trying to make it so that it goes all the way down. How about 20? Would that go into the floor? It would, but oh, never mind. It's perfect. Alright. Now just fill in the stone here. So I used stone so that when it hits there, it looks fine. And then you should be able to walk up all the way. But then you might say, it's annoying because that's like that. So here's what you want to do. So for your first little thing, you just put the doorway like so. And then go ahead and just simply copy both of those walls all the way up side of the high bay. And then you should have and over set light underscore gray underscore concrete. Then you're all set right there. And then we go ahead and take this one and then bring it all the way up once again. And then we'll finish the other side. And then we're done there. And now you just go up to here. And then you can see you go up. And yeah, it feels pretty okay. Alright, and then the next thing you want to do is this, which is just to make sure that you can't fall off. Just going to put a whole entire railing all the way up. And this is just so there's still light. So we're going to go select that whole thing and then just say // and actually I'll just make sure that both of those are broken. Alright, and then just // replace air with iron bars. So it should make a little row of iron bars there. Perfect, that's what you want. Now go and do the same for the other side. And that will just make sure that there's a railing to keep out anybody from just accidentally falling all the way down. So yeah, just go there and then just do the same thing there, and then you have your iron bars. So now you're forced to stay in there, but it's still lit up all the way up with those lights. See, it keeps going up and up and up, and you can't, you can see how far, but it goes really, really far up. So I'm not gonna go all the way up, but yeah, just trust me, it'd probably take a while to get all the way up those stairs. So yeah, just leave yourself at the bottom. And now we can get to work on the bridge crane, which is all the way up at the top. And yeah, it does take a while to get up there. Yeah, even when you're just flying straight up and not taking the stairs. So yeah, we got that now. So the next thing we want to do is go to the top of this and then just place, just continue the wall from the outside in to this, to make sure that this glass is like so. And then we're going to do some detailing for the underside of the roof, because a roof like this doesn't just stand on walls this high up and this heavy. That just doesn't happen, so we're going to have to put some structural supports on the bottom side of the top, and that's why there's this whole little area where there's no, there's no windows or anything as for structural reinforcements. So it'll go in along there. Alright, so now we're going to begin work on the reinforcements. So start with in the far corner, just go right along there, and then do a 4-block gap, and then do it again. 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 Alright, and then right here, go ahead and grab your andesite wall, and just put it all here. This is because this is air conditioning stuff right here, because the high bay bar needs to be air conditioned. Alright, and then the next up is go all the way across in the middle block, all the way across with the structural reinforcements. And then grab up your andesite wall, and then on each of these center blocks, go ahead and place one that's going down. And then on each of these connecting blocks here, you're going to want to go down. And then, and I'll do this real quick. Make sure all there, like that. Not slash, time set, midnight. If we look, it's fully nighttime, and you can see there's lights here, but right here it's pretty dark. So here's what you're going to want to do, is this, and oops, forgot to replace it. Remember to replace your glass with pearlescent frog light. Right here, in the middle one, I guess. Yeah, it's the middle one, roughly, except for those 2 blocks over there. Just place a pearlescent frog light there. And then go on this, the far one, on both sides, and also place one. That should light it up pretty well. And it looks nice and symmetrical, even though it's not because of this, but it's okay. So now we got that. So now we're going to do the same thing on this side. Now, because of the staircase, it's a little weird. So you're going to have to bear with me here. So the top of the staircase has a little thing that goes up, like so. Right here, and it's just a little enclosed area right there. So, yeah, little weird, but it exists. And as you can see, there's still that there, but then right here, it just does that. Kind of weird, but yeah, that's just what it is. So you're going to replace the floor here with your light gray concrete. and then go here, and then right here, place andesite wall for the rest of the way up to make sure that you can't just fall down onto the next floor. Right there. And then this is where, once again, structural reinforcements come into play. So, air conditioning over here is, you can't do it. So, you're actually going to start from this way, going over to the side. So, same thing. Every 4 blocks, place one. And then, as you can see, it leaves a space for the air conditioning to go. And you're just going to put it right here. And this is going to make sure that this whole entire portion, the high bay bar, is nice and air conditioned, and not, 100 degrees or whatever kind of temperature it is down in Texas. Usually not good though. Like during the winter, it probably gets down to like the 70s. Trust me, where I live, that's like peak temperature. So, yeah. Alright. So go all the way down to the bottom here. So it's a little weird because you were just all the way up at the top. Now we're all the way down at the bottom. And I'm going to set time today again. Right there. Alright, so grab up your gray concrete. And, so on each of these sides, you can kind of think they're the smaller sides. I think this is the wide side, and this is the skinny side. On the skinny side, go ahead and go out from this, and go out 5 blocks this way, then 4 blocks up, and then put in 2 blocks or 3 blocks like so, and then 1 block there. So this is what it looks like. And then put in light gray concrete along the side there. And then go ahead and put 2 little things, 3 little things like there in all those positions. And then go right there. Then as you can see, it looks like that. And then just go. And then it should look something like that. Alright, we got that. And then we go like that. And so it's like another little wall segment. Then go in the upper corner, right there. And then go in the lower corner, right here, for your 2 positions. And then just stack that all the way down the side. And then, as you can see, that brings you down there. And then just put another light gray concrete section right there in the middle. So there's these 2 little, I don't know, maybe storage for equipment on each side. So just make sure to hold those there. And then on this, just put a 2x3 doorway into here. And then do another 1 block out from this corner. So if you know where this is, it's 2 blocks out from the stair shaft. And then right here, it's 1 block out from this wall. And then go ahead and go in, and along each of these little guys here, place light. And then go along this little area here and set it as stone. And so this is what I would do if I was playing in vanilla, is I would take some stairs and then just keep placing them all the way around, and then just stack them on top of each other, sort of like that, and then do it on kind of like all sides, and then between doorways do it as well. But I have a couple mods installed, purely visual. They don't actually, affect gameplay really. And if you have World Edit, you get these as well sometimes. But just use what I showed you right here, but just for visual purposes, because this one is actually going to get posted. I am going to put these parts purely for screenshot purposes. And they are right here. and then I just take these tables, and then I put them like so. Right up, they look like little shelves, like storage things for equipment. So just put a couple of these in. Move out of the way. Oh, he's gone. That. And then that's that little storage thing complete. I wouldn't really worry about this area. I don't think there's many people who'd really check over here. See, so you could just leave it blank if you wanted to. But I like putting that extra detail in, so I put it there. Alright, same thing on this side. Just go ahead and go out 5 blocks, and then 3 up, and then 1 in, and then another 3, like so. Same position. And then right here, oh, forgot to do the cross section first. With, like I said, 3 points, light gray concrete between them, and then repeat that 3 more times. And then you're pretty much complete with that little area. Yeah, nope. And then this last block here, just make sure that it's completely gray concrete, no light gray concrete. So it looks something like this. And then fill in this with light gray concrete. And then grab up this little section here. And then go right there. And then stack 5. And then light gray concrete fill, except for that. Just put that in. And then light gray concrete fill it. Like so. So now you have that on both sides. Just little storage equipment, storing facilities. I don't really know. I don't know what to call them. But yeah, and then on this one, it actually is 1 block in from there on both sides. So you can see it like that. And then go ahead and make sure that all these have that little thing in them. And then make sure all these are set as stone. Boom. And then go over here. I'll go over here real quick. Just grab those tables so that I can put them in as such. And I'll just remember to stack all this to you. Alright, now we're done with this room. We can move on, finally. So now we're gonna go back up to the high bay bar. And this is something that I don't even think ever actually happened. But we're just gonna put some little tables and chairs in there. So start by just putting some andesite in. So you're gonna start with right along this window. This is just like the area where you can look down into all the stuff down there. So there's a couple tables and chairs there. So just remember to leave a space for both of the chairs. And then we're going to do another one like so. So you can't really sit in them. It's mainly for being compact in there. Set up like a restaurant there. And then just put all those. And then go ahead and grab up a carpet. I'll just grab up a gray carpet because, let's be honest, it probably is colored like that. I wouldn't see them using some very vibrant colors in this kind of a building. And then this just leaves a little space. For extra detail, I would add just a little thing here. Like one of those little, you know what I'm talking about. There's little stands where you can get like condiments and things. You know, ketchup, mustard, napkins, forks, spoons, whatever, right there. Next up is just the actual bar itself. which is just going to be like this. So, right here, so go 4 blocks in from the wall there, and then go 2 out, like so, and then go to the center, and then go 4, and then go back in. So it's a little weirdly lopsided. I just made it that way so there's a little more space over here for what's over here, which is just going to be one of those weird looking booths that go 360 all the way around. And then this is where the booths go. So we've got that one. Then we'll have more here. Nope, nope, not there. Alright, so you want to leave a 2-block space over there. So this would be obviously for employees only. I don't think they would allow the public to go into the ring yard and into a construction facility and then up these really, really long stairs just to eat at a place up here. Maybe for special guests if they ever come for launches, because that's what this balcony is partially for, is for seeing launches, which would be out that direction eventually if I was able to turn up my render distance way up and it was constructed out there, we could see it. But that's for a later video. Alright, now set up the carpet on the top of this little counter, and then set up a little, one of these little guys over here. Get a trap door, a birch trap, really, dark oak trap door. And just put it right there so that the bartender or whoever can get out of there. And then that's that. Now go back here and then put up a little thing right there that leaves a little space there. And grab up a brewing stand and just put a bunch of those there, just as a little decoration, make it look like something's actually going on there. And obviously this is sort of a restaurant and eating area too, so all the way over here near the employee sort of workspace, I guess, there's a little area here which is the employee break room right here, which we'll put for employees who are right here, and it is nice and like that. So this is just a little break room. Make sure to grab up those doors again. And in here, you just put some tables. Maybe they could play some card games. I don't know. Don't know what workers down at Starbase do in their free time. Nice more carpet. I'll just replace my gray concrete with that, because we're not really going to use it as much. And then here is the kitchen, but I am going to save that for a later video, because why are we getting into kitchens when we could be building rockets down here? So we'll do that next episode after we build the rockets. And I think one more thing, and that is the bridge crane, which is a little more up at the top. So we're going to grab up yellow again. And this is actually a new block, I guess, for this video. Grab up your yellow concrete. Alright, so next thing you want is going to be the sort of track that it rides on. So you're going to go ahead on this side and then go on right here. And then grab up and then just go wherever you want with this. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to go kind of more center and then have a 5-block gap between two polished blackstone that's supposed to represent some little wheels. That is for the crane to connect to. And then I'll put the crane, this little thing that the crane is on. These just connect the wheel. And then there's the actual crane itself, which you're going to need 2 more of these little, make sure these struts here connect. And then we're nearly done with the crane. We just have to put the actual crane below it. And it rides along this track as well. I'm going to put it more by this side. And then it's going to be 7 block gap that you reach the other little segment there. Alright, and then grab up a little bit of yellow. Not before putting these little struts between the wheels. Make sure they're connected. And then grab up some yellow concrete. Place it below both of those little struts we made. And then go across. Like so. Put an andesite wall right here. And grab up your polished black stone and just make a little thing for where the rope attaches to. And then go ahead and just place that. And then place a little circle like so. And then a little thing like this where the actual crane stuff comes down from. And then right on here, put the little attachment thing for the rope, which goes through into there, and then down from there, down below, and I'll just bring it down a couple blocks. And then you put the actual little connection point right there. So this is what it looks like. So it looks pretty cool. Nice little bridge crane there. And that is what picks up ships. Well, not specifically. There's a little connection thing. 4-point lifter that connects to a ship and then brings it over, drops it onto the transport stand, then it goes down the road, launch factory, or Massey's. So we're pretty much complete with the high bay. We'll put some ceremonial ships in here. Just a couple very recent favorites of the community. We're talking ship 26 here, which I'm not sure about the whole ship 26 stuff, the lore with it. And I also have ship 31 is going to be built here, which is my personal favorite. I remember it as Sparky, and always Sparky. So yeah, we got that complete, and yeah, we're pretty much done here. So yeah, hope you guys had some fun with this video. This is Historic Times Gamer signing off. Goodbye.